Okay, that is in a time sequence. Yep, a time sequence. So you can do first, next, last, beginning, middle, end, however you want to do that. Now, a chronologically structured discussion is often clearest. Yeah, it gets the roadmap we need to get us where we want to go. Okay, if you're following a map, if you're following GPS and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to skip that step and I'm going to go the other step, you're never going to get there. The same thing with this. If you're going to skip a step and throw something else in there, we're never going to get there and figure out what you're trying to tell us. So we want it really clear and we want it in chronological order. Especially when you're describing a factual background, exactly what I was saying. What are the facts of the car accident leading to a lawsuit? So important we know the facts and we know them exactly how they took place. Now, you may also use chronological organization even when discussing legal issues. Of course, if you're going to discuss a legal issue like negligence, well, we want it in chronological order. Don't tell us the damages first. No, we want to know the duty, then the breach, causation, then the damages, right? For example, you would probably need to structure a discussion chronologically if you're writing about how a particular rule has developed over time. Okay, well, yes, if we want to know, if you're trying to tell us in our legal memo that, the changes in the rule of law over time, don't start with the new rule. Let us know how it changed over time, chronologically. Okay, we want to know why did it change? Well, it changed because of this. And then in 1992, it changed because of this. And then in 1995, and then 2005. Keep it all chronological. Always, always, always. There's no exceptions to that. Proper sequence, okay? It really doesn't matter what you're typing up, honestly. It should all be in proper sequence. Now we have to write effective sentences. What does that mean? It doesn't mean just create a good sentence. It means create a sentence that is clear, concise, right? And is effective to who? To the reader. So if we're talking about a rule of law, how is it going to be effective to the judge? To match it with the facts, the elements with the facts. Effective sentences, okay? And if you go back and read your documents, the sentences that are not effective, you either change them or take them out. There's no point in having a judge read a sentence that's irrelevant, that's not effective, okay? So most good writers prefer short, concrete sentences because they are easier to understand and they get to the point. Good writers write forcefully by using active verbs. Okay, what's a verb? It's an action word, like run, anything you can do with your body, jump, skip, hop, fly. Well, we can't fly, but you know what I mean. So active verbs, okay? You want to use active verbs in place of nominalizations, which are verbs that have been transformed into nouns. Why? Because we're talking about the law. For example, it is better to say, the plaintiff decided to settle. You would say this is what they want you to say. Okay, they don't want you to say the plaintiff made a decision to settle. See the difference? The plaintiff decided to settle, made a decision to settle. There's a difference there. We're going to turn it into what? Decided. They decided, so the verb has changed a tad bit there. They're not making a decision. They already decided to do it. Made a decision, I don't see very often. I always see decided. It just kind of sounds like the plaintiff made a decision to settle. Kind of sounds like it's still up in the air, right? If we use the word decided, it's said and done already. We have the ED. This is the past tense. It's done. Okay? We talked about it. They decided to settle. So similarly, you could change make a statement to state. Take into consideration to consider. Okay, so we're going to take the long words, make a statement. We're just going to say they stated or I will state. Okay, keep it simple. These are kind of extra. Now we have take into consideration. No, please consider. Let's keep it simple. Take into consideration. Now we have more words. And believe it or not, that's important because there's certain courts where they only want 10 pages for a brief. And to squeeze a brief into 10 pages is pretty hard. So we want to take out the unnecessary words that are not needed just to help us squeeze that brief into 10 pages for the courts. Okay? Reach an agreement. What would you turn that into? We agree or they agree. We don't need to put reach an agreement. It's done. We agree, and that's the point, okay? So we can take out those extra words too. Strive to write concisely in every writing project. Wordy writing, a lot of words, these are all wordy writings up here, often obscures your points. We want to get to the point. We agree, right? Not we reach an agreement. No, we agree. It's done. It's done. Decision. Plaintiff, decided. Okay. So concise writing is clear. It's more forceful, it's more to the point, and it's more persuasive. The plaintiff decided. It's telling the judge it's done. They'd already decided. The judge is not thinking, the plaintiff decided to settle, or the plaintiff made a decision. That doesn't really sound like they've decided yet. And believe it or not, this is how judges think because they're so used to reading the same writings all the time. So we don't want them contemplating, did they decide? No, they decided. Okay, so it makes it more clear for them, more forceful, to the point, exactly what we want to say, we agree, and more persuasive. We want to persuade them quickly to approve our motion, not deny it. Don't have any questions about what we're trying to say. Okay, so exhibit 9.2 below for additional examples of how to write more concisely. Let's see if I have 9.2. I think I do. There it is. Okay, so we have wordy versus concise, everyone. This is a good one in your book. Page 247. We have the wordy side on that side, and we have the concise on this side. A period of 5 years. Wordy. What can we say? We can just say 5 years, more concise. As well as, okay, that's pretty wordy and old-fashioned. We can just use the word and. It means the same thing. At that point in time, then we can use that as our transition word. Due to the fact that, so wordy and so old-fashioned, you'll see some of these, some people still write like this, right? But we want to just stick it with, concise, because, it means because. Okay, in the event that, we don't need all of that. If, what does if mean? If means in the event. If something happens, we can just use the word if. They know what it means. Okay, what about take into consideration? We did that one earlier, consider. It seems probable that, no, we can just use probably. Okay, so these are all wordy, obviously, and these are more concise, and this is what we want you to use, more of this, when you're drafting those legal documents. Keep it simple. Think of those little extra words like it, or in, or of, or the, or that, or for, or the. Think of those little words that you can take out that are unnecessary. Just get to the point, okay? All right, any questions about this one?